Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this course Certification in Quantity Surveying, and today we will be learning what exactly is a rate analysis. So now what exactly is a rate analysis? The definition says it's defined as a process of determining the rate of any particular unit of work. It is a process of finding out the rates that we are going to deal with during this quantity surveying course. So now what exactly the quantity surveying does? So for calculating and knowing any final cost of any work, for final cost we need to segregate this work into different sub branches. For example, we are dealing with a 1 cubic meter of concrete. Okay, so let it be casting or making, whatever it is. So then we need to know the every aspect which is going to contribute for the cost addition in the case of the concrete making or concrete casting itself. That means we have to measure the quantity of the materials that have been consumed, manpower that has been used, and the machinery that has been adopted. In a simple verse, 1 cubic meter of concrete, okay, cubic meter of concrete we are dealing with, right? So for that we know that concrete is a mixture of cement, then sand and aggregate, water, and if admixture used, it is, right? So these are the materials that we have consumed for making that 1 cubic meter of concrete. Then what is the manpower, how much of the labor that I needed to lift that concrete from one place to other place, to mix that concrete, to place that concrete from whatever the place that we are fixing it to, that is. And the machinery adapted, what type of mixer that we have used, any on-site mixer, or if we have used this ready mix concrete if we are purchasing, then what is the ready mix concrete, that adopted machinery, that's costing and everything. So 1 cubic meter of concrete consists of these small parts. They come together and they form the final cost of this cubic meter of concrete. So that is what the rate analysis is all about. We know that suppose 1 cubic meter of concrete, it costs around 5,000, 6,000, suppose, okay, rupees. Based on that we need to know that what is the bifurcated cost of every item, how much of cement I used, and what cost, how much of sand I used, how much of aggregates I used, any admixture used, machinery adopted, and manpower used. So all that things are included in a rate analysis. So finally, rate analysis is a minute bifurcation of everything that you are using for calculating that huge quantity. Why do we do this rate analysis? So first of all, as I told you, we need to know the actual overall cost of the construction project. Because a construction project, when I say the cost of the construction project is suppose 500 crore rupees. So now what is 500 crore are going to be consisted of, that I need to know. So that how much of money I'm going to invest for construction materials, how much of money I'm going to use for manpower used, machinery used, then any other aspect related to law, related to societal aspects, anything, CSR of the companies and anything that I need to know. So this 500 crores bifurcation, that is what I need to know. For that we need to do this rate analysis. While finalizing the quotation through the contractor and tendering process, as I have discussed earlier, tendering, if I want to start with the any project, well before that I need to take out the tenders, and those tenders must be accepted by someone. Then they become contracts, that already we have discussed this agreement and all that. So for that I need to know, if I am the owner, I must know what is the total cost of my project and total the sub costs of the each and every aspect that is being going to come into the project. So I, for that calculations, I need to do the rate analysis. And then the first one, economical usage of the resources. As I said you, the resources, you have to remember this thing about the site, that money is a very scarce resource at every stage of the project. So there will be no phase that you have the abundance of money and you can use it in any way. Ultimately, as the money is resource restricted, ultimately other resources are going to get restricted. So you need to know what is the economical usage of that. Let's take a very simple example. If I want to construct this house and I'm at the excavation stage right now, means I'm just excavating, finalizing this landscaping, surveying, and all that stuff is going on. And right now itself I decided that I want to do this paint and I'm going to use this Berger paint, and for that, the whatever 2 coats of this one, then the primer and everything I purchased right now itself. Now what is the economical aspect of this one? Suppose I invested around 2 lakh rupees of this one into my this project, okay, for this one, that purchasing of the paint. Now what is the economical aspect of this one? Totally useless thing, because the thing is that I'm at the excavation stage and I am expected to focus more on knowing excavation related things, purchasing the excavation equipments if needed, asking for more manpower, doing the much elaborated land survey and everything that I should be focusing on, not the paint that I'm going to use, because painting is a finishing product which is going to be at the end of the. Now this, whatever the 2 lakh amount I've invested, they will be totally wasted, and they will be as idle money, the useless money to be invested for this longer period of time. The next one is revise the schedule of the rates due to increase in the cost and the techniques. Now suppose what happens, some of the projects are kind of lengthy ones, they take more than 5 years, sometimes they take 10 years or something. If such a projects are there, and I let's take a timely at 2020 2020 I decided to construct a huge tunnel in some part of the country, where, and that tunneling is something that is not going to be a 1 year or 2 year project. These projects normally take 5 plus years of this. They have this investment because they include a lots of precautions to be taken, and lots of the complexities there in a project. So what I need to do, I have to consider at least the completion of this one is 5 plus years from 2025. Now I have quoted the rates while filling the contract as per the 2020, right? Now I am about to complete this project in the 2025, but the rates obviously are going to get increased, and this escalation is not been defined earlier. Then I have to do the rescheduling of this all the rates, and for that I have to do the rate analysis. Next one is, what is the data that is required for the rate analysis? The first important thing, that is the location of the project, because based on this only we'll come to know the other aspect of this. Whatever the other points that we are going to discuss, that will be first dependent upon the location of the project. As I already have told you, the rates are different for different quantities and different material, different activities at the different states. So for in some suppose in some Delhi, the rates for concreting are much different as compared to the rates in Mumbai, because the because the metropolitan city comes with a metropolitan, there are other there are other the taxes and everything they do have. In Mumbai they might have different taxes rules, so for that I need to pay different. If a 1 cubic meter of concreting will be totally different at the Mumbai and at Delhi. Okay. Then the availability of material, how easily the materials are available, that will be totally depend upon the location of the project. If the project location is in a good inside the city, and no, I'm going to get a very easily access to the purchase of the material, it is good. If the project is far beyond the cities, in a landscape areas, very remote areas, then I have to make it more efforts to go for the availability of the materials. Then same is with the labors. If I am living, my project is nearby cities or towns, and the labors will be easily available. If it is far, the availability of the labor will be much difficult, and I have to make the houses for the laborers and labor colonies inside the project itself. Then the machinery is adopted, and the same one, if machinery is, what are the types of machinery I am going to use. Because for rate analysis, what happens, you can do, let's take example, you can do the excavation with the help of manual, that is a manpower also you can use, and you can do the excavation, and that excavation can also be can be also used with the help of machineries, right? So you need to know that what is the cost aspect of providing a manpower, and what is the cost aspect of providing a machinery. So this is two analysis you need to do, and for that we do the rate analysis. Then what is the type of methodology I'm going to use for construction purpose? As I told you, you have to define that whether you are going to use a manpower, whether you are going to use a machinery. Based on that, your cost of the project is going to change. Then what is the scale of the project? That is a small scale, medium scale, or large scale project. Because based on that, the concept and the definitions of the everything changes. Because the small scale projects, we already kind of know the history of the project, because these are small scale projects are kind of already repetitive ones. They already might have constructed well before, so we know what are the flaws might come up, what are the plus points, what are the minus points. Same is with the medium. But in large scale projects, most of the time they are built for the first time, or very few historical data is available. So I have to recheck whether this large scale project, whether the project is large scale. So based on that, I have to define the quality aspects and everything. For that, I have to do the good rate analysis. Then the involvement of the technical aspects. As I told you, for the large scale projects, the complexity of the project, the technicality of the project changes, because these are the for the first time projects, or they are more complex as compared to the small and medium. For taking a simple example, if I want to construct a 1 BHK house, I'm not constructing it for the first time. That is, the house has been constructed for many a times here and there. I'm going to okay with that. But if suppose I want to construct a bridge, which is at a very remote area somewhere, and the river is very, a huge flow river, very flamboyant river, you can call. If that river is very, vibrant, so that at that stage constructing a bridge is going to be a totally different task as compared to the 1 BH constructing a 1 BHK house. So those technical aspect I need to study. Then the transportation contingencies and contractor profits are those. These are the charges which we are going to discuss in detail while calculating calculation of everything. Then these three are the non-commercial, non-technical, but they do, you can call it intangible, you can call them, but they do affect a lot. First one is, what is the market situation, whether the market is stable and everything is going in a flow, nice one, and nothing is, fluctuating up and down. So based on that, if the market is going in a nice direction, flawless direction, obviously then the rate analysis is going to be a different one as compared to the fluctuating market. The next one is the political stability. What is the political influence around your area? If the influence is too much, if these political parties are influencing, continuously visiting your project, asking for some helps to their parties and everything, so it is going to be difficult for you to, go for a flawless construction of the project. And the weather conditions, based on weather conditions, too heavily raining, too drought, or anything, I have to change the rate analysis aspect as per that. Okay, next one. So where you can get the rates, now we found out these are the factors they actually affect this rate analysis. Now let's go for where I can find the rates. The first one, you can actually do the market survey. You can visit every shop, every vendor who is there related to you, the material you're using. You can visit them, you can ask for their rates, and you can have the sheet made for this ABC material. For ABC material, I have vendor number one, vendor number two, vendor number three, whoever they are, and what are their rates. Based on that, you can do your own homework. Then we get district schedule rates. As I have shown you in the previous one, the screenshot of this one. The DSR you are going to use, and they are the mostly followed by most of the time, and we also in this series going to follow them only. Then for the workers and laborers rates, we can visit the workers and labor associations around our area and check out their documents, what are the rates they do have, and any previous data if you have available with you, any previous analysis you have done. Based on that, you can find out the rates. Now these are some of the important points that you need to remember while before, doing the rate analysis. These are a few ones, but the important ones that's why I have included them. You just need to write them down and stick it to any place you're going to sit for study, because they do need at every instant of quantity calculation. Most of us know already, but I'll just read out these points. The weight of one cement bag is nearly 50 kg. The volume of one cement bag we have 0.035 meter cube or 35 liter. Then a unit of weight of steel is equal to 7850 kg per meter cube or 78.5 quintal per meter cube. Weight of cement in 1 meter cube is equal to 28.8 bags. So nearly this is taken as a 29 or 30 bags for the practical purposes. that is a 1440 kg. Then the brick size without mortar, we might get confused, it's 190 by 90 by 90 mm, and with mortar it is 200 by 20 by 20 mm. So now number of bricks in a 1 meter cube will be 500 these bricks. So sorry, these bricks, these are the brick size with mortar bricks we are going to use for the 1 meter cube. That value comes out to be 500. Then the quantity of the binding wire, this is the thumb rule that we have, that is a 10 square meter. For every 10 square meter is a 2.7 kg of 18 gauge, or for 1 ton of steel it requires nearly 9 to 13 kg of the binding wire. Then the 1 meter cube weight volume of the concrete is equal to 1.54 meter cube of the dry volume of the concrete. This is all going to come to the calculation part in the next slide itself, next module itself. Then some of the grades of the concrete and their proportions. We have for M5 it's a 1510, M7.5 is a 148, M10 is a 136, 15 is a 124, M20 is a 1.53, and M25 is 1 and 2. These are very essentials, you need to remember them. Now the important parts. As in a previous one, we have discussed a quantity calculation first that we are going to do and write it down in a measurement sheet. So in a measurement sheet, I'll have this one. Then the excavation for footing number 1. Footing number 1. The number of footings are suppose 3. What is the length? That is a 2 meter. What is the width? That is a 2 meter. And a height suppose 1.2 meter. So whatever the quantity that is going to come, you are going to write it. For footing number 2, for footing number 3. Then the concreting. Then we have the concreting for footing number 1, as footing number 2, footing number 3. Then the shuttering we are going to have. So like that we are going to have this everything. Now at the end we are going to sum up at every end, means excavation for footing, how much of quantity I am going to need. Suppose 50 meter cube I am going to take out the quantity. So this is what I am going to use. For concreting also, suppose I am going to use 12 meter cube of concrete I am going to use. So this 50 and 12 I am going to utilize for the abstract sheet. So what exactly is the abstract sheet? Wherein I just take out the abstract of the measurement sheet, which are the important ones. I am not going to check out for foundation 1, foundation 2, foundation 3. What I'll do is how much of excavation I did for whole foundation, that is 50. So this is the first quantity will be excavation I did, and the excavation I did was 50, and whatever the rate here it is, you are going to take out. Suppose it is 100 rupees per meter cube. Suppose I am just giving the example. So based on that, this is going to be a 5,000 rupees of amount you need to do. For concreting again, for concreting I said 12 meter cube, the rate is suppose 5,000 rupees. So based on that, and it's per meter cube 60,000 is rupees I am going to need. So this is what at the end, whatever the quantities you are going to have, shuttering, then starting with the plastering, then painting, doors and windows, staircase, everything that you are going to have will be put over here. And at the end there will be sum of everything, which will be the final and total cost of your project. This is what the rate analysis is all about in simple words. Just to show you this example, this is kind of a simple abstract sheet looks like. There is a measurement sheet, and out of which the measurement sheet, the quantities are taken out. That is for earthwork in excavation by mechanical means, earthwork in excavation by mechanical or manual means. Up to the heights there are differences over here. So this is the quantities taken out, and whatever the rates they do have, they are put over here. The units are put over here, and the multiplication of this into this is done, and these are the total cost that we have incurred into. So now that there will be total sum at the end of the project at this sheet, and that is the total cost of the project. So we'll be learning about this one much detail in coming projects. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.